Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good evening I bid to my lovely audience. My name is Amir Haiqal and I'm a Form 4 student from Sekolah Menengah Sains Selangor with the school code WEA 0206. I'm very grateful to be given the opportunity to share with you all a lovely book titled After the Rain. Now, After the Rain is authored by Alma Zakiya and published by 21 Alaf Publishing House, and is a romance or slice of life genre novel with 1 part, 21 chapters and 220 pages. Now, before I get into anything, allow me to break down my commentary for you all to better understand what I'll be sharing with you today. So, I will be sharing with you a synopsis in the first part, and in the second part I will be sharing with you a character and its characteristics, and for the third I will be sharing with you the theme of the story, the teachings inside the story, and moral values about the story. And for the last part I will be sharing with you one of my personal opinions on the story itself. So without further ado, let's get right into the book. The story starts off with 30-year-old girl Azhani, who is carefree and free-spirited. She is strong-willed and indifferent to what other people think of her. And she is very intelligent, but that causes her to have a very dense character who is not very aware of her surroundings. But that would change one day when she knocks out a senior with a broom. And that senior happens to be the head prefect, Abdul Rahim. Now, the story ends off with a very sweet note, where Azhani watches her grown-up daughter go through exactly what she did when she was 13. As for favorite character, this is the second part for your information. I picked Abdul Rahim, the head prefect. You might ask, why? Because I think he's a very idealistic student and he's a very good role model. And many male students should look up to this character because of how determined he is in the story. He is initially cold and aloof towards Azhani at the beginning of the story, but he slowly opens up, and that reveals much more about his character, like how actually nice he is and about his background. So for the third part, the theme of the story itself is about maturity. It's a reoccurring theme we can see everywhere inside the book, like Azhani become a much more ladylike or classier and elegant individual rather than her childlike self. And for teachings, I chose one teaching which really stuck to me, and that is to rise up to the challenge. Now, in the story, we can see Azhani pitted in many appalling situations, and most of them were not in her favor and seemed somewhat impossible to succeed. But she broke through no matter what. And this is a very modern problem we see nowadays, where students are maybe too scared to go on stage or maybe too nervous to present to their class. But this book teaches us and tells us how to face our fears in the face. Now, for moral value, I chose being patient and leaving an impact on the world. In the story, Azhani is very, very studious, and even though she is faced with many challenges, she still puts her studies on top and is set on becoming the best student in the school. Now we can learn a lot from that, and it's very admirable how the character is very determined. So for the last part is my own personal opinion, and that is, I think that After the Rain is a very strong escapism book, and it's easy to become enveloped in the story and lose track of time. Personally, I think that After the Rain is suitable for all age groups, except for children below 12. And I really love how the author describes the story details, down to the places, the items, even the character motives are very realistic. It's easy to imagine these scenes happening inside your mind. And that concludes my commentary for today. Without further ado, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.